Welcome to another session of Your Image, your public relations program on television. Today is another day, and we are still looking at the topic empowering young agripreneurs for a sustainable career. I still have as my guest Olayinka Akijoli, who is an agripreneur and agribusiness developer. And I'd say you are welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I also have once again Taiwo Odunake. Taiwo Odunake is agri-economist and agri-business development manager also. You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I really appreciate your contribution last week. You were able to tell us how young ones should be careful in not plunging themselves with the little funds they have, and the time how they can be conserved to ensure that things are moving on smoothly. Well, this week we will have to advance. We will have to advance in ensuring that people are more encouraged to go into agriculture. How? When you look at this rainy season, you could be sure that we are having a lot of wastages. Food, crops, vegetables, and the like. Even the other area of maybe piggery and other poultry angle, they are having some difficulties. What is your advice? How do we first of all encourage wastages, and then how do we preserve?
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, to discourage wastages and try our best not to preserve our food, our food ingredients is something that both the government and private sectors have to work hand in hand. The farmers can't do it alone. The government can also do it alone, and the private sector also have to come in, because, like we said, the farmers are the implementers of whatever policies the government makes, while enablers or people that enable the policies to thrive at the private sector. So, for a young farmer that wants to preserve his food products, he has to understand. He has to first identify the processing areas in his environment. He has to know. Okay, let's say you are into tomato farming. As a tomato farmer, you might not be able to sell all your products to the market. So before you start the planting, I would believe you should first network around and know where they make tomato paste around your environment, your locality. So you would know that, okay, if there's a factory where they make tomato paste, you can liaise with them to either brand your product for you and you sell, or you sell to them while they add value. That in its way reduces wastages.
But the people in the villages, they do not have this opportunity. So what do you advise? Okay,
the people in the villages, I would advise them to, the advice won't go to them per se, to go to the government. Okay. This is because they have little to no capital to embark on the high machineries that will be needed to preserve these things, because the traditional ways of preserving this farm produce cannot be enough to preserve the quantity of what these people are producing. So that's where government and private sector have to come in to empower private sector to go into the nooks and crannies and get these products from these people and buy them at good rates and preserve it for them.
Thank you very much. Taiwo, when you look at the agricultural institutions in Nigeria, how have they been playing their role? Have they been beneficial to entrepreneurs, agripreneurs?
Okay, thank you, sir. I'll say to an extent they've been playing a role. They've been doing their part by, doing some training programs for.
Through their extension services.
Yes, I know. Like even when we were still in the university days, we know of people that their work, their field agents, they go to the villages, to the rural areas, to sensitize the farmers, the illiterates, like that don't really know what's going on outside there. So they try to sensitize them and give them even new that people that
seedlings.
Yes, like the improved seeds, improved varieties of seeds and all that is against the climate change, and also they've to an extent done. I would not totally say they've not done anything, but it can be better. It can be better, and when these institutions go further, the rural areas will also, because they are the ones that mostly engage in farming. They have like as if they have no other occupation than farming. So I want to advise that they go more and they intensify on the training program so that everyone will be sensitized.
Thank you very much. Mr. Akindele, I want to call your attention to the farm estates that we are having located almost in every part of the country. What has been their contribution to the GDP?
The contribution of the farm estates, the various farm estates to the GDP I'm very certain has been enormous. Because just a few that I know of, the poultry farm estates I know of, there's some piggery farm estates I know of, and you need to go to these settlements and see the value of commerce that goes on in these places. See the amount of commerce, the amount of transactions that go on there, and you would know that yes, these things add to the GDP and add to the GDP of the nation, and not just the GDP. They also assist in ensuring employment, ensuring food security, which is key to the success of any nation. Ensuring food security and employment basically to the nation. So their contributions cannot be overemphasized.
Thank you very much. Taiwo, I'm particular about the young ones, and now they can have a sustainable career in agriculture. What are the new thinking to helping the young ones nowadays?
Okay, thank you, sir. Firstly, I want to say it is going to be a training, a sensitization and empowerment program. Firstly, because like we said last week, that most youths don't want to venture into agric. They don't see the need. Everybody wants a white-collar job. Everyone wants to work in the bank. Everybody wants to wear suits. Everybody wants to do the usual, and they
white-collar jobs.
White-collar jobs, and they tend to because even the agric sector is something that almost like all the institutions, all the organizations, all the manufacturers, they go back to agric products to make whatever thing that they want to make, table chairs, chemicals, everything. You still go back and fall back to getting it from nature, and the youth of these days don't want to, like in quote, get dirty. They don't want to go to soil. They don't want to touch sand. They don't want to touch anything.
And they say there's money in the village.
There's money in. They used to say there's money in the dirt, in quotes. There's money there. Anybody that feels it's a dirty job then is also missing out. So I feel, firstly, because even when we were in school then, I have many people that we studied the course together, but even before they finish, they already made up their mind that they are not going into that field. It's already a note. They just want to get the certificate and move on. So I feel it's something that should be sensitized. The youth needs to be sensitized on how rich the agric sector is. Once they see it, and youths want money, once they see that there's money there, I believe they will go into it.
Thank you very much. There's one particular area that I also want you to look at. How is the security situation in Nigeria helping entrepreneurs?
It's really eat a lot of people, because personally I know a lot of entrepreneurs that have have left the business,
folded up,
and turned their backs on agriculture, because a lot of them have gone into the business. I personally know someone that planted almost 1,000 acres of maize farm in Ibadan, and I think there was this clash he had with some herdsmen, and his farm was set ablaze. The insurance company the insurance claim was that God was could not even meet up with what he had spent on.
Was it not adequately?
It was adequately insured, but most times the claims you have to, like, any farmer that has tried to get a claim from his insurance company would understand what I'm trying to say. So the insecurity situation has really hit a lot of entrepreneurs.
So what do you advise the government to do on that?
To intensify on agriculture, on security cannot overemphasize. Please, security should be really looked into, because a lot of farmers, passionate farmers, are leaving the business. Because if the fear of being kidnapped on your way to the farm would put you off from venturing into the business at all.
Well, that's a pathetic situation, but we believe that with the new government that is in place, security issues will be attended to.
Hopefully.
I want you, let's go ask you again, because you mentioned the issue of, is it slime?
Yes.
That we extract from snails.
Yes.
Can you also come up with those byproducts from other agricultural products that citizens, young ones, and entrepreneurs can tap on and make some businesses?
Youth need to understand that agriculture is a gold mine. Like, agriculture is a gold mine on that you don't need to dig the ground before you get. It's there waiting for you. Let me give the example of broiler farms. Let's say you're rearing broiler chicken. If you process a broiler chicken, the chicken itself is meat. The feathers are used for pillow making. The feathers are also used for feed making. The intestine of the broilers is also used. Well, they are also used to make feed ingredients for fishes and other livestock. Wow. That's the intestine, and the feces also. The feces, that is the stool of the broiler chickens, is also sold to people, to crop farmers that want to plant vegetables and the likes. So you can see that there's no wastage in a chicken. You are seeing a chicken. A serious farmer is seeing different things that he can, different ways he can maximize that chicken, and that's just for chicken. And the same applies to the different forms of livestock, and also crops also. For pigs, the hair of the pigs are used for brush making. The skin is used as used. The oil is used for something. So the gold mine in agriculture is really untapped in this part of the world.
Well, I'm really amazed, because all these things you are mentioning, I did a little bit of poultry, and I'm realizing that I've lost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you have.
And the same goes with the citizens, with everybody.
Yes, you have.
So how do we now get connected to those organizations or agencies, or the people that will get this byproduct?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So the first thing you need to do is to look for the nearest poultry association in your environment. The poultry association, any farm associations, liaise with them. Look for where they are. There is a poultry association in every local government in Nigeria. There is a piggery association in every local government in Nigeria. There is a fishery association in every local government in Nigeria. So you just need to look for where they are and network with them, and you would easily, they will easily let you know the things that you need to do to make sure your byproducts meet up to the standard of the off-takers.
Thank you very much. Tawo, funding has always been a problem to all businesses. And how do you advise young ones, entrepreneurs, to go about connecting with relevant agencies and seeking help?
Okay, thank you, sir. Well, major agencies that are on ground, to help, the process is most times very long. The process is most times very long, and most youths might not have the patience for all that. That is why we always advise that as much as you can seek help and get funds, get grants. We are part of a farmers association. Okay. They prefer to give an association. Yes, they prefer to, instead of individual, they prefer to give an association, so that you can disburse it.
Which is better.
Yes, because of security. Yes. So, but as a young farmer, before you can be able to say you want to do all that, start something. That's always the advice. Start something, whether retailing, whether processing, whether just start something, and you can begin to do those processes by the way, and everything will work together for good.
In my neighborhood, I saw some people rearing goats and the like, and before I knew anything, they were in large numbers. How do we, is that your specialty too? So how do we encourage individuals to rear goats and the like? And then how do we manage them so that they don't become nuisance in the environment?
Yeah, thank you, sir. So one thing I practice, I preach to anybody that is going into goat farming, ram or cows, is you have to try your best for your ruminants not to become nuisances to the environment.
To stray around.
To stray around, exactly. So you need to, no matter how small, you don't need to have the big funds to start ruminant farming, which you can get your sticks and bamboos. You create a little house, a little pen for them to stay. Then you daily you cut your grasses and you bring to your animals, and before you know it, your animals are farrowing and
besides grasses, what are other things that we need to feed them?
For ruminants, there are a lot of things they can eat. They eat legumes also. They eat husks also, husk of beans husk. Okay. They eat maize husk also. They eat maize. So they also eat finished feed, like we give the poultry also. Like you go to a mill and you mill their feed also.
What about the management? So that they don't become a nuisance in the society.
Yes, so like I mentioned earlier, you have to make sure that your animals are caged. Your animals are in a confined environment, so they don't go and start constituting nuisance in your environment.
Thank you very much. Taiwo.
Yes, sir.
What is your advice to government on how to encourage more people to go into agriculture?
Okay, thank you, sir. My advice for the government, as much as they are doing their best in their capacity, they are when they do convocation service in every university, is more people added to the labor market. If they want to wait for government institutions to get jobs, then it's going to be a long thing, because you've met people on ground already, so you have to wait for your own turn. I want to advise the government to put more funds into this agri sector. Put more funds into agri sector, like develop it. Even there are technologies, new technologies that can help bring in more hands, that can not compulsorily the subsistence farming and all. So my advice for the government is that they should do more sensitization for this, for the agri sector. Do more sensitization, push in more funds. Also there are people that are willing to work, but no funds. Let there be funds readily available, although follow via due process. But I just want their attention to be really focused on the agricultural sector. Before oil came, it was agri that was food of the nation. But when oil came, everybody's attention has been diverted to that sector, and the agri sector is now left to just run its own. So as much as they are doing their best, I want to advise that they push in more efforts, sensitization programs. They can even to also develop the nation. There is a means of foreign exchange. Let them put more attention to agri. When we meet the foreign demands, the standard of other foreign countries for exports is a very good opportunity even for the nation to grow in itself.
I want you to look at the other stakeholders in the agricultural sector environment. What's your advice? Because I know that there are farmers associations, I know that there are financial institutions, I know that there are also international bodies who guide and sponsor certain programs. So what's your advice? And how should people tap into the opportunities?
Thank you, sir. So just to talk about what you said, I would advise to firstly, I want to advise government when it comes to funding. Government needs to please look for the farmers. Identify the real farmers. Identify the practicing farmers. Identify the people that are on the farm, the passionate farmers that need these funds. Most times the funds are coming in. The funds are being, if you are privy to the budget of the federation, money is coming out. But are these monies going to the places where they are supposed to go? So I think government they need there are a lot of work to be done in that aspect. So with the associations, I would want associations to have an open arms to youths. Like the associations would grow when youths are allowed, when youths are encouraged to join, and when youths join, they should be held up. They should not be. No association should try to discourage or demean youths. They are going to make mistakes. Youth are going to make mistakes. They are still young. They still have the exuberances. So a youth shouldn't make a mistake and you kick him out of the association, and I think associations should be encouraged to have an open arms to youths, encourage more youth participation, and be more youth friendly.
Thank you very much. Well, it's all been a very interesting environment and a very nice discussion we're having. It has been a lot of revelations, and we believe that the young ones, entrepreneurs, even though farmers, do have opportunity to tap from the messages that they are passed across. I want to thank you for being here, Mr. Olayenka Akijole. Thanks for being here. Taiwo Junake, it's nice having you. Viewers, this is how far we can go. Until next week, do have a great time. Grow foods in your environment and ensure that you feed your family. When you feed your family, a nation is being fed. And of course, we can even have access to export to other nations. Until next week, when we bring you another topic, stay blessed. I'm Akin Kudero, your uncle. Bye.